and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
In June, hundreds of communists will gather in Italy, joined by thousands participating online, to found a new revolutionary communist international to fight for socialist revolution across the globe. Join us. Capitalism faces its deepest ever crisis. Israel is conducting a brutal massacre of the people of Gaza with the full backing of Western imperialism. War, poverty, and precarity are facts of life for workers and young people everywhere. We have to suffer from inflation and financial turmoil, while fat cats like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos count their billions.
For years, the communist revolution is in full effect. We are living through a time when at least the administration understands the threat.
Today's far-left terrorists can raise money in one country. They can host their communications in a second country. They can receive training in a third country. They can recruit militants in a fourth country, and then together strike a target in a fifth country. And so we have no choice but to confront this menace together. We will either cooperate across our borders, or the terrorists will continue to exploit the gaps between them. Under President Trump, for the first time, the United States is building the infrastructure, the partnership, and the strategy to defeat the scourge of far-left terror. The President signed National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7, outlining a comprehensive strategy to investigate and disrupt Antifa terror networks and their allies. Last November, the State Department designated 4 violent, far-left extremist groups as foreign terrorist organizations, and there will be more designations soon. In December, we announced Rewards for Justice, offering up to $10 million for information disrupting the financing behind these groups. In May, we convened the first counterterrorism law enforcement workshop, joining American law enforcement officials and their counterparts in our partner country nations together to map and develop strategies for dismantling these networks. The next workshop will be co-hosted with our partners in Germany. The coalition we're building together is already bearing fruit, and we are here today to build on that work. We can and we must identify and map this threat and rebuild our counterterrorism architecture to defeat it, just as we have done together before. Now we must do it together again.
And what he's done so far is to stop the money flow to organizations designed to have a strategy that was anything other than a strategy that strengthened America. It weakened America, often with America's initials on it.
We need to understand the real reason why USAID is in Africa. Their sole purpose was to act as if they're coming to rescue Africa. They're coming to fill in the gaps in government services, gaps in education, gaps in healthcare. They are coming in claiming that they're introducing grassroots initiatives that are going to help the people. And so they use that as a way to go into the most remote parts of Africa. They're talking about government advocacy. When you look at it on paper, it all looks really good, but they're actually wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that open access sounding humanitarian to constantly destabilize governments. I can tell you right now, the majority of African leaders, and not just African leaders, but leaders in the developing world, are celebrating the exit of USAID.
You're not getting that perspective anywhere in so-called media. You're getting that perspective because it is the perspective that is the truth. When you look at the organizations, the NGOs, that are set up to be diabolical by nature. Simultaneously with this, what is happening in America as criminals, convicts, gangs, communists are being turned out on the street, they're being embraced in our school, and you're getting little information about what is actually happening.
Breaking news out of Michigan. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Leland. Yeah, the U.S. attorney in Michigan is calling this the gravest national security concern. You have a Chinese national, a woman who's getting her postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Michigan. Her name is Young King Jian. This is the indictment that you see right here. Her boyfriend comes to visit, lands into Detroit, nonstop flight from Shanghai. They think there's something up with him, Customs and Border Patrol. They start searching him. He says he doesn't have anything. They ask him multiple times. And in his backpack, they find a killer fungus, something known as a terrorism weapon, something capable of taking out billions of dollars in livestock and crops and making people very, very sick.
Couldn't help but reflect back on those years, the American dark ages after Joe Biden successfully stole the 2020 election. All the evidence and the links between Joe Biden, the dimwit, and the Chinese Communist Party. And I don't just mean Joe Biden himself.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I actually traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know.
What'd you guys talk about? Did you talk just about the ways to steal our money?
Now, this Fox Business exclusive, Hunter Biden and a former Biden aide invested in 2 Chinese companies with ties to the top levels of the Chinese Communist Party and its military. Emails show that as recent as 2017, Hunter's private equity firm held a 5% stake in Harv's amusement parks and interest in Harv's sports and entertainment. Both are backed by China's development bank tied to the Chinese military. The emails added that Harv's was partnering with NBA stars Magic Johnson and LeBron James in 2016 to host an NBA global game in China. In 2020, Harv's announced it was partnering with NBA China to bring basketball-themed entertainment centers to the country. No wonder LeBron James is always apologizing for the CCP.
It's an excellent cover, though. And all the time, the crack-smoking, degenerate, whoremongering son got a piece of every bit of it. And what was the actual communication? You don't think they went through that crack smoker. You don't even think they took any risks. They didn't have to. Joe Biden had a sat phone and 4 aliases. And we knew about it going into the election that he stole.
Peter, you broke a lot of this years ago about the Biden family influence peddling, and you've got new information this morning, breaking news on a cell phone that Joe Biden was using. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. What is the line of communications between Hunter Biden and his business partners and Joe Biden when he's vice president of the United States? It's not the government phone. It's not Joe Biden's personal phone. We know from the laptop that Hunter Biden's business paid for a private phone line that Joe Biden used while he was vice president. It was from AT&T. It was $300 a month. It was a global phone where you could access somebody anywhere around the world. We shared that phone number and that account information with people at the House Oversight Committee. My hope is that they haven't already. They will subpoena those records because I think it will give an indication on how tight the communication was. And that may be the phone, for example.
You know what else is fascinating? That the Ukrainians. Joe Biden's son, Hunter, didn't have any money. He's a bust-out, crackhead. The money wasn't paid for by Hunter. The money was paid for by the Chinese or the diabolical, most corrupt nation outside of Chicago.
Just 6 months into the role as Ukraine's defense minister, Mikhailo Fedorov is out. The tech-savvy 35-year-old, who was seen as a modernizer, had previously spearheaded the country's digital transformation policies. As defense minister, the youngest member of the government was credited with streamlining procurement and reducing corruption, but he often clashed with the country's commander-in-chief. During his tenure, Fedorov oversaw a series of successful Ukrainian operations, including strikes on energy targets deep inside Russia.
Where's all the money? I mean, you're talking $300 billion. Gone.
One of the things that Congress has given U.S. aid since this full-scale invasion began is an unprecedented amount of money in direct budget support, which sounds kind of obvious. Of course, we would do that. We want to stand with Ukraine, but it's totally unprecedented, this kind of scale of investment. And we're talking along the lines of about $15 billion in a sense, cash to the Ukrainian government, which was famously corrupt, in past years.
That was 60 days into the so-called conflict. That was 60 days into the conflict. All of it, treason. Joe Biden and the Democrats didn't just steal an election. They perpetrated treason, and they stuck us with the tab. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits.